Accessible Air, providing services for passengers with disabilities. An online training program from Sunwing Airlines. Module number 1, Legislation. Hello, and welcome to Sunwing Airlines' online training program, Accessible Air, providing services for passengers with disabilities. The legislation we're referring to is actually two separate pieces of regulatory protections. One Canadian, the other American. The Canadian regulations come from the Canadian Transportation Agency, and the American legislation is from the U.S. Department of Transportation. They set the minimum standards of treatment regarding the transportation of passengers with disabilities, amongst other passenger protections. Sunwing Airlines strives to provide the highest level of service regulated between the two countries. Our training aims for excellence in service to be given with sincere intent by you, our dedicated staff. Remember, harm to our reputation and the negative impact of poor service cannot be undone. Every one of our staff members who interacts in any way with the public are responsible to know Sunwing policies as well as understand the practical applications of the regulations that govern our industry. During this course, you'll learn what we can do for passengers in terms of special services and how best to communicate with people with different types of disabilities. It's also important for us to understand that each traveler with a disability is an individual with their own unique set of needs. It will be through our communications that we make sure that we understand the disability and any customization of support required. Module number 2, Booking. Thank you for joining us for module number 2. Now that we have the legislation out of the way, the rest of this training program will be clear sailing. No, really, I promise, no turbulence. Let me start by introducing myself. My name is Katie, and I'm a disability inclusion trainer here at Sunwing Airlines. I also happen to live with disability firsthand. And my partner today is Jacob, a banking executive who is a frequent flyer on Sunwing with the use of his power wheelchair. Thanks for joining me, Jacob.
Thank you for inviting me, Katie. It's always a pleasure to advocate for the needs of people with disabilities.
We thought we'd walk you through Jacob's typical travel experience to illustrate where passengers with disabilities can expect to have support from Sunwing staff during their journey, from booking to deplaning and afterwards. Jacob will be with us as we cover the even-numbered modules, which will all be part of the travel experience. Odd-numbered modules will be about disability. And sprinkled throughout the 10 modules are quotes from passengers with a disability who participated in our research on the current realities of accessible travel. Let's share with everyone about the special services that are available for passengers with disabilities here at Sunwing. We'll start with what they should find out when booking their trip.
I made use of more than a few of those services, and I have friends that have used others.
Special Services Department. At Sunwing Airlines, we understand that some passengers may have special circumstances that require extra attention and care so that they are able to travel comfortably and stress-free. In response, we take a passenger-led approach where the accommodation provided is based on the individual passenger's needs. To encourage conversations, we advise travelers that we have a special services department where they can reach us to discuss how to ensure that travelers of all abilities can experience a safe and enjoyable holiday. Anyone who would like to request any special services at the airport, on board the plane, or for assistance with transfers at the hotel can download the Special Services Request form from our website at sunwing.ca.
Once passengers have completed the form, they can then email it to the Special Services Department at specialservices@sunwing.ca. Or call 416-957-4011, extension 8091 during business hours. They're open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 6 o'clock p.m. Special Services is available to support passengers with any questions or concerns that they or you may have.
Module number 5. Types of disability, communication tips, and best practices. The travel experience is exciting for many, but at the same time it can be complicated, producing stress or anxiety. Passengers with disabilities may be particularly vulnerable to that stress. So in this module, we will provide you with communication tips and best practices for providing the best possible service to customers of all abilities. We all want the Sunwing experience to be the best it can be. With that in mind, we're going to talk about some different types of disability that you may encounter amongst your passengers. These will include physical disabilities, vision disabilities, hearing disabilities, and also some of the hidden or non-apparent disabilities, such as those involving mental health, intellectual, or learning disabilities. During the course of your work, you may be most aware of those physical disabilities that present the passenger with mobility challenges. The passenger may be a wheelchair user or may use crutches, a leg brace, or a cane. Or the passenger may require assistance in moving around due to a recent injury like a sprained ankle. One important thing to remember about mobility aids: never touch them. Unless required, and if it is, seek the passenger's permission first. In Module 2, you heard Jacob talk about how difficult it is for him to be without his power chair. He talks about it like it's actually part of his body. It is essential for electric chairs and any assistive devices to be stowed so as to avoid any damage to essential mobility aids. It is important for travelers to understand who will help and how they will help. When talking to someone using a wheelchair or scooter, get to eye level. If there is no seating nearby, crouch, get down on one knee, or stand back a bit so you're not looking directly down at the passenger. The other communication tip is to make conversations inclusive of the person with a disability. Speak directly to the person in the scooter or wheelchair as opposed to speaking to their companion to ask what they want. There are many types and degrees of physical disabilities, and relatively few actually require the use of a wheelchair. For example, someone with a prosthetic arm may need assistance in stowing baggage on board. Someone with diabetes might need something small to eat before the meal is served on board to keep their blood sugar from crashing. It may at times be difficult to identify a person with a physical disability, as most physical disabilities are in fact invisible. For example, people who have rheumatoid arthritis, which is common among older travelers. Passengers with heart or lung conditions may also have difficulty with moving standing or sitting. We'll talk more about invisible disabilities in Module 7, but for now, suffice to say, making rest spots available between waiting areas goes a long way to ensuring people with fatigue-involved disabilities like MS or fibromyalgia will be able to make it to their gate without assistance. It is important to familiarize yourself with these seats in your airport in case passengers ask you. At times, your response will determine if they're able to make it to the gate unassisted. As always, the general principles apply when you're assisting a customer with a physical disability. Be sure to ask, "Can I help?" and "How can I help?" Module number 9. Human Potential and the Value of Differences. It is our hope that you now see the passengers in your care with a new appreciation for their everyday struggles. We've informed you about many different disabling conditions, many of which lie beyond your previous awareness or direct experience. Once you have a better idea of what challenges someone may be dealing with, it is easier for you to be truly helpful, which will sometimes mean not helping at all. As individuals, we each have unique potential. There's no average solution for a comfortable and successful travel experience. Sunwing Airlines excels when we pay attention to each individual passenger and successfully accommodate their unique set of needs. In his groundbreaking book, The End of Average: Unlocking Our Potential by Embracing What Makes Us Different, author and Harvard educator Todd Ross strikes down the myth of the average. Every day, he notes, we are measured against the yardstick of averages in our schools, in our businesses. But that yardstick is spectacularly and scientifically wrong according to his research. Our goal has been to familiarize you with the large and complex disability community so that you'll become aware of the individual needs and desires of each of your passengers without regard for any disability you may notice or become aware of. This is an opportunity to put aside any previous assumptions or stereotypes you may be holding on to. Keep your eye on the unique human potential of everyone with whom you come in contact. Sunwing Airlines can be the gold standard for customer service in air travel. Sunwing's business is based on bringing individuals and families to exciting vacation destinations where they can have all of the benefits of dynamic new experiences. Water sports, airborne adventures, hiking, ATV rides, and theme parks all present thrilling new opportunities along with some hazards. Imagine the vacationer who was excited to try hang gliding for the first time until a hard landing resulted in a broken ankle. Now the unfortunate adventurer must board his return flight in a cast and using crutches. This is the equivalent of a temporary disability. The passenger who must navigate the travel experience with a new onset disability must deal with the sudden change of circumstances on many levels. It's psychologically disruptive, probably financially disruptive. It involves learning to navigate with crutches, dealing with poor balance, pain and/or unexpected reactions to medication, and the challenge of getting into the confined space of the airplane seat. All of these factors create a variety of problems for the traveler and a world of opportunity for the compassionate, knowledgeable Sunwing agent. Our repeated